Charlie Morgan has made over $8 million from YouTube, but he does this in a very unconventional way. And in this video, I'm going to break down exactly how he did it step by step so you can steal his strategies. So on the basics, he just uses YouTube as a traffic source. He uses it as a way to get people from YouTube to his offer, and then he sells them something to make money. But we really need to understand what he's doing with his content here, because there's loads of people that make content for YouTube and don't get any customers, don't get any leads. So he's doing something very particular here. And we want to look at how he uses that to make the money. And when you look at his statistics for his channel, early 2024, something changed and his channel growth just exploded. And that will have also exploded his income, because if he's able to take more of that traffic and push it back towards another offer, he will be able to make more money. Now, the problem was that at the time, his channel looked exactly like everybody else's on YouTube. The thumbnails were the same, the titles were very similar. So his growth was very slow and consistent, but he never reached that exponential point. So when he was making content, he would just be learning something, he would try it out, and then he would just document it. But at some point, there was an inflection point, and his content went from being like this on the left to over on the right, and this is where he had that explosive growth in his channel. And we really want to explore that point to learn what was he doing and how can we copy him and copy his ideas. So on the surface, the quality of his content went backwards. He went from these highly refined, highly edited videos to filming on a phone with a low quality microphone. And I mean, hell, he's not even in focus, yet his channel was exploding. And you can see this across the board. All of his videos from then on were shot in this same style, this low quality whiteboard approach. And many people would think, okay, well, I'll just go and film on a whiteboard and I'll be able to have the exact same success that Charlie was having. But unfortunately, YouTube doesn't work like that, and let me explain why. So whenever I see junk mail in the post, I will just pick it up, won't even look at it, and it will just go straight into the bin. But if I receive a parcel that I'm not expecting, I'll be excited to open it because I'm wondering what that is. Now, sure, it could potentially be an advertisement, but until I actually open it, I don't know what's going to be in that parcel. And YouTube works in a very similar way. See, when we expect to see junk mail, we're not going to want to open it. But if it's something new, something different, we're excited to find out what is inside. So what is Charlie doing? Well, he's being different instead of just focusing on being better. He's using his content to stand out and to seem and feel different from what everybody else is expecting on the platform. And there's a few ways of doing this. But if you want to learn how to get more clients from your own YouTube channel, then I've got a free email course in the description down below, and it's 30 ways in 30 days to get more clients from YouTube. The first way is to make content which is just inherently different in the style. So most people at the time were filming these talking head videos, sitting in front of the camera. They'd have some animation, some editing, but Charlie instead went and just started filming in front of a whiteboard. So his content was in a different style. Now, you might not necessarily need to do a whiteboard. You could do a talking head because nobody else is doing talking head videos. You could pull out a piece of paper and draw on that instead of using whiteboard. Just something that makes the content seem different to what everybody else is creating. Because if people think the content is different, they will think you've got different insights and it would then be worth watching that video. Now, the next method is how he was actually titling his videos. This is one of the biggest impacts on how many views he was getting. So if you look at this video here, easiest way to get SMMA client meetings in 2025. That would appeal to people who are interested in SMMAs. If you're not interested in an SMMA, you would not watch that video. But when he started to change his titles to appeal to a broader audience, his views skyrocketed, going from 5,000 views to 315,000 views. And this one was how to focus that for 12 hours a day like a millionaire. And who would that appeal to? Well, anybody who wants to learn to focus more, anybody who's interested in being a millionaire. And that's a hell of a lot more people than just those who are interested in SMMAs. So you could use that same approach as well for your content. If you wanted to make it appeal to more people, just think about how it's titled. Think about the words that you're using and the kind of person who would want to click on that video. But there is a third thing that he is doing. So if you think about content, it's always going to exist on this scale between being educational or being entertaining. And you could be anywhere on this scale. Now, Charlie's content is right down at this end. It is heavily educational. Now, there is a very clever way that he uses this to get lots of views. So education is just transformation. It's giving people the information to go from where they are now to where they want to be. And if you give people information that they can implement right now, that actually helps them to cross that gap. Because if they're not crossing that gap, they're not really educated. They're not taking action on it. So one way to do this is to talk about topics that you're deeply knowledgeable and passionate about, because if you have a lot of knowledge on this subject, you'll be able to give insights into it that other people can't. And this is one of the reasons why Charlie helps people cross this gap so well, why his videos get so many views, because the insights that he is able to provide are incredibly deep, because he is deeply knowledgeable and passionate about that subject. If I went and tried to copy his videos and tried to talk about the same subjects, I wouldn't even get a fraction of the views, because I don't understand those subjects in the same way that Charlie does. I can't talk about it in the same way because I just don't have that insights. I don't have that level of knowledge that he has about that content. So the takeaway here is he stood out because of the depth of his insights. Now, a little bonus point for you. When he started making all of these talking head whiteboard videos, the problem was that everyone started copying him. They thought, well, Charlie's making whiteboard videos, they're blowing up, I'm going to make the same thing. But when they do that, that same banner blindness comes in. The whiteboard videos become those adverts that you get through the letterbox. So people just start to ignore them and stop paying attention to them. So Charlie's now tackling this in a different way, where now whilst everybody else is making whiteboard videos, he's going back to off-the-cuff talking head videos in front of a computer screen, and he's just writing stuff out very similar to what I'm doing in this video. But once he has the traffic, there is one final thing that he really needs to be doing, and that is actually making money. Like, we know how he's getting these views now, we know a few of the methods he's using, but how is he actually using those to generate traffic? So all of his videos point back to a single sales page. Beneath every single video he has, they all just have the same link posting back to a sales page, which is where he sells his company services. And his actual sales page looks like this, and they're helping marketing agency owners, coaches, consultants, and so on to get qualified appointments every single month. Now, I want to break this page down a little bit more so you can just understand what is going on. So the first thing, he's calling out who he is speaking to. And then he's giving it as an educational opportunity. So he's saying you're one step away from learning how you can. So he's saying, this isn't just like a normal sales call. We're going to teach you something on this call. Now, I'm sure it probably is just a normal sales call, but framing it in this way makes you think, I will get something of value if I come on and join this call. Then he gives you a little guarantee, every single month guaranteed. If you don't get clients, we don't get paid. After that, he has a VSL, which is about like a 6-minute video where he's talking through the offer, talking through what you'll get, talking through why you should book a call. If you're interested, I could break this video down in more detail in another video. And after that, he just has a Calendly link to book a sales call. It tells you what you'll learn on the call. So a few different things. So he's saying like how to create a plug and play sales system that will help you skyrocket your sales. So they're still framing it as an educational opportunity. They're not framing it as a give us all your money. They're framing it as a come on this call, we'll teach you some things. And then after, he's just doing some objection handling, saying things like, you don't need any special marketing background. You don't need to be an internet geek. You don't need to be a computer whiz. He's just taking the objections that people would have for a sales call and just trying to say, look, these things don't matter. It's worked for all of these other people and it can work for you too. After that, we just have a bunch of testimonials saying what's included in the actual offer, what you will get if you buy from him, and then again, just another link to a discovery call. So where most people are doing these incredibly complicated funnels, doing multiple steps with email marketing and low ticket offers, he's just using YouTube, going straight to a sales page, and he's made over $8 million from that method. But if you want to learn how another entrepreneur, Dan Coe, makes over $5,000 every single day with YouTube, then I'd recommend you watch this video next.